So the importance of Jiu Jitsu in my life and MMA for PTSD, post-military, and officers, police officers, or anyone that sees traumatic events. One thing that has always stuck out to me has been that Jiu Jitsu, no matter what, has always been there for me. Regardless of if other people weren't or whatever I was going through, Jiu Jitsu was always there for me. I found that out really quick after my second deployment. I needed an outlet. I needed a very, very big outlet, and weightlifting that I did for years before, it wasn't the same. It got boring. That's not enough. So the transition was we went to Iraq 2005 from February to September. We came back, and then we left right away for September again. So that was 2 in a row. So we didn't have a chance to acclimate to the civilian life, the regular life of what we would see, what civilians would be going through or whatnot. We honestly, we didn't know. We were just military, constant. We were taught one thing, basically. So, with that being said, jiu-jitsu it was a lifesaver. It still is a lifesaver. I don't know what I would do without jiu-jitsu. But it's so important for veterans to get out there and try it. I know that what social anxiety is. I have it. It's hard to walk through the door. It really is. Once I did, that first day when I walked on in 12, 13 years ago, I never looked back. Never. I was hooked. And I needed that. I needed that outlet. And again, you go into it with knowing knowledge to be able to protect yourself out on the streets, and that goes with law enforcement not knowing enough out there. Even in the Marine Corps, we did MCMAP, or martial arts program. Very, very basic stuff. It's kind of like when I took Hapkido. Very basic stuff that might be able to work if people grab your wrists, stuff like that. But nothing is as realistic as it is as jiu-jitsu. And I always hear there's a lot of excuses, but people are worried about getting injured, which is completely understandable. But that's why you have to have a good coach too. A coach isn't going to save you from injuries, obviously, but he could help prevent them. I do not like that there's a lot of officers out there that just, I don't want to say hide behind their badge. I'm complete pro cop, but you need to know how to defend yourself. I am so sick of seeing these videos of cops just getting their ass beat by teens, getting their weapons taken and put on them. It's awful. And just hearing the stories, I trained with a lot of Chicago police that are in it, the worst of the worst. They see the worst of the worst. They have to deal with the worst of the worst. They have to use their hands more now than their guns. People are afraid, so they end up shooting too quick, or using weapons. Know how to take the person down, and you wouldn't have to do all of that. It's a scary job. It's a terrible job. You have to say, now you have criminals on drugs or something like that, where they just go like they're zombies. They're attacking people. People lost respect for the law. You got to train. I really wish it was a requirement. So I seen an article about you have to be. I think it was someone running for office or something said all police officers should have a requirement to be purple belts, which is, you know, a good belt in jiu-jitsu. That's when stuff really gets real. So I don't know. I think that's very huge, and you got to just not think about going there to get injured. You're not going there getting thrown around a room. That's why the instructor has to be careful. You know, you don't have to roll 100%. You don't have to go against the best competitors in the gym. But I have a few police officers, and right now we're doing self-defense, and that's what jiu-jitsu is, self-defense. You know, I just, you don't know what could happen to you until it happens to you. You know, as police, as the military, every time that we left that base, we knew we could have died at any second. But you don't know what that feels like until it happens to you. You know, I didn't know. I've seen people die out there, and but then I got blown up, and it was just, it was very eye-opening, I guess, so to speak. So what I mean is everyone has different experiences out there. Everyone has different outlets. However, I see, and I've seen military after 2 deployments, after 3 deployments, whatever. After 1 deployment, you're putting your life on the line for your country, or, you know, whatever, and you come back and you don't know what you do. You turn to alcohol, you turn to drugs, and that's a path that I see. I'm people in my platoon. It sucks. It sucks to see, because you're putting your life. You did so much work overseas. You did so much work just in the military, in the Marine Corps, of what I experienced, to come back and ruin that. It sucks to see that. I feel like jiu-jitsu is a safe drug. That's what it is. It's we have a lot of Marines, a lot of people that deployed, or maybe seen more than other people. We have addictive personalities. You know, luckily I got addicted to jiu-jitsu, because who the hell knows where I would have been, or what I would have been. You know, so I hope everybody that wants to, you know, is coming out of the military, like do this. If you're a police officer, please do something. Do jiu-jitsu. Know how to strike. It's awful to see it on the news all the time. I see, you know, police officers just don't look like they should be police officers, and they have a tough job. You know, even if you're a police officer in Elmhurst, you never know when you're gonna get tackled. You never know when someone's gonna put you in a headlock, a basic headlock, where if someone puts you in a headlock, you should be able to destroy that person no matter what. But how many people do you see that don't even know how to get out of a headlock? Or so that's huge. That's huge, and I want people to be enlightened by it. Like, go through it. Again, I train with a bunch of Chicago police that they say this helps them, and they feel confident in the streets. You know, you have your gun, you have your tasers for problems if you feel like you're about to die, you know. But how many instances have you seen people that could shoot too quick, or, you know, less shootings, whatever. I mean, the bottom line should be, you should go home at night. You shouldn't have someone breaking the law take you away from your family. And when you're tired, when you say you're in school, when you have 2 jobs, you know, I've done it. You got to just do it. There's 7 days in a week. You know, you could find 2 days a week. You could find 2 days a week. it just, especially because the importance of how mentally this is for somebody. Again, and from experience, I don't know where the hell I would be if it wasn't for jiu-jitsu, martial arts, the community. If you're antisocial, which I am, but you find that family. You find people that share the same interests. You find people that have been through a lot of stuff too. That's something. That's a bond. That's a bond that you're gonna hold on to. You know, and that's just something that, you know, I did some podcasts. I was in Jiu Jitsu magazine years ago, just trying to, I don't know what I could do to help get veterans in to combat sport, Jiu Jitsu, something to have patience and that they could put their mind to and not have to worry about anything else. When I'm doing Jiu Jitsu, my puzzles, it's a big puzzle. You know, I don't have time to worry about anything else. And that's a huge key. But I would recommend everybody, every veteran that, you know, needs to get some stuff out that has an addictive personality, especially, don't turn to drugs, don't turn to alcohol, don't do it. Don't do it. There's better alternatives. You know, you're healthier, just everything. I don't even have to get into all that. But I wanted to share some of my experience of why jiu-jitsu is so important to me, and that kind of will go along with my journey on this channel. So yeah, I hope it did some good. Thanks.